Right. Hello and welcome back to Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days. Raoul is about to depart on a great journey. We won't need too many weapons, but I'm going to take some in case. We'll take that and that. We have to go and loot Kirk's body. And then we're going to have to, because he'll have all the weapons on him. That's why I'm not going to take much. I don't think anyone will have returned back in yet. And there they are, the one that killed him. Right, we wait. And we're waiting. And we're waiting. That's one, but that's different from the one we saw first. And that's another person. And that's one that we saw. Right. Wait for him to turn round. And go. Got him. Ah, you shitter. Same thing again. Can't swap weapon during combat because it'll take too long. Pain in the arse. There we go, we've got all the stuff. I'm guessing when she said don't go down the long hall, this is the long hall. I'm guessing that there's loads of other zombies down here. I'm assuming I can jump up here. No, I can't. Right. So we're now stuck down here. There's no way back up. I'm guessing the reason why is because there's just loads of them down this way. But yeah. Annoying that. Kirk literally died to 2 zombies because just couldn't swap weapons quickly enough. Right. Thing is though as well is, you know, you do panic a bit when you're in the middle of the combat. Like you've got to keep stunning them. Like if I go in the menu, I'm going to lose about a third of my health in that time. And then it's like, right, let's... Anyway, whatever. Now we just have to, presumably, leave. Right. About there's a person, right? Oh, they can climb as well. Raoul is dead. And all of our weapons are there. Holy crap, there's 3 of them. Okay, that I think was messed up. It's like, really? Really? We're They immediately know, instantaneously spawned on us, and we're now getting killed by them. So, right. Daphne, you do not need to go and acquire all the weapons that we took, as much as it is a loss. We're not going back there. We are absolutely not going back there, because we would have to kill all the people who are there, and they are definitely going to beat us in a fight. We're not fighting zombies there. Right, so Raoul has basically given himself up so we can get Daphne out of here. We have to go back to the smuggling hideout. It was Vivaldi's? I want to say it was Vivaldi's. Return to the smuggling den. Pin. Does it mark it for me? It would be nice if it marked it for me. I think it was Pogo's. I was going to say, I'm sure it was a... Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure we went to, like, this bookstore, which would be here. That told us to go to... Is that the one that told us to go to Vivaldi's? And then from there we were told to go to Pogo's, or... Well, was Vivaldi's where we met... No, it was the bookstore where we met that girl, I think. Was Vivaldi's part of it? I honestly, it's all blurring together now, and oh good lord, the threat level. Okay. Move the shelter. I think the veggies were ready. I think we'd already collected them. I hope we had. And then we've got... Oh. It appears to have been reclaimed by the zombies. Very quickly. Is everywhere just like super high threat now? A lot of them are, but some of them aren't. Right, we're gonna need... Yeah. We need to move there. And that should take us within reach. We can move straight back to the sports supply. You know, that might not be the worst idea. We might be able to go Schrader Street, which is low threat and more reasonable, and then to the sports supply, and then to Pogo's. We're just hoping then that the sports supply isn't overrun in the meantime. Okay. We'll head here then. We'll take these. And, it finally comes down to Daphne. Our last hope. Oh, they have turned around. We're moving in, so we don't have to, like, loot everything, I guess. Right, upstairs we go. Expect about half a dozen zombies or so. Are they just standing, or do they turn? They look to just be stood. Again, we're gonna get everything when we move in. So far, so smooth. Wait for it. They're not moving. Let's check downstairs. Ah, there's one there. Do they turn around or do they just stand there? Looks like they're stationary. What have we got? Right, some bits and bobs there. Lovely stuff. Is that it? That's nowhere near as bad as I thought. You know what, I'll just bring all that with me just in case, like, the stuff from the car out front doesn't count as, like, in the house or whatever, or... It will. It will. Can I not jump up here? I'm pressing up on the analog and... No. I'm going to say that'd be quite useful, that if I could jump up there. Because then I would be able to... Yeah, kind of... alert... Well, not alert. I'd be able to, like, get behind the zombie above. Right. Let's take that out of the way. Right. I may well be about to finish this whole thing using just one knife. And it does seem they literally just stand there. Ow. Okay. You've discovered everything in this location. Lovely, lovely. There's the pure alcohol. Not that we need it anymore. And there we are. Potential shelter in the top right. All threats cleared. You can now move in. That's what we want to see. I will just, like, grab all of these again, and just in case it's like doesn't count the stuff that's outside of the shelter or something, because I'm guessing that would be, but it probably does. Right, we'll move in. Yeah, move. Job's good un. And that should be... Right, while the barricades are still up, let's have some stew, some goulash. And we're gonna need to go to the communal area, aren't we? I mean, it's not really much of a communal area anymore, is it? When there's just one person. She's just probably talking to herself at night now. Right. Barricades are still good. We're going to... Let's have a look. Still have some meaty stew. We could use some rest, perhaps. That said, how long have we to go until... Can we reach it from here? We can't, but we can go straight to here. I probably should have done that before doing the communal area thing, because Yeah. Oh dear. Right. Objective's pretty clear then. We're going to do that. Honestly, the phases are going by real quick now because we need... We've no longer got anyone at home to do things. So everything's now being done by us, you know, by me, myself, and I. Right. Really goes to show how much you kind of depend on having someone at the base just basically being your pit crew for when you're going out. Right. But yeah, definitely shows, again, just when you're doing all this yourself, it's like, yeah, you really need at least like one extra pair of hands. We're having to just do everything ourselves, but it's fine. Let's get... We're gonna need weapons. We're gonna need a lot of weapons. Like, a lot of weapons. And I think that means we're gonna need... Let's see. What have we got? We have... a bottle. We've got plenty of, like, a couple of stealth things, but no real, like, big melee weapon to use in, like, a big fight. But we do have a gun. So in that case, let's make some makeshift spiked bats. And a couple of knives and broken bottles. Right, we'll get all that made. And that looks pretty good. Right. And the barricades are holding. Because, yeah, we're going to need to go and... We're going to have to go and fight the network, or what's left of them now, to get through that tunnel, to supposedly then be able to get out. Like, fingers crossed that works, and if it does, we have our first victory. A Pyrrhic victory, which I personally blame on the so-so combat system, but we'll have a victory, so... Right, on that note, I guess let's get prepared. Okay, where is the board? Here we are. Right, what shall we take? I think we'll take this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and it's just... Wow, do you have to transfer it bullet by bullet? Okay, I guess we'll take one full stack of ammo. We'll definitely take another one of them, and... I mean, we either win or we die, so... Oh. I guess we can't take all weapons. Just in case they've, like, locked themselves way behind the door and have to break through it to get to them, or... It's like, okay, now we have to get out of here! That's odd. The confiscated briefcase, stack 1 of 2. And the same with the ornate cross. You'd think they wouldn't stack, but... Okay. Weird. Anyway, I think we're just about ready. Okay. Right. Off we go. The final showdown. Us versus the network. And by us, I mean literally Daphne. Oh, that's interesting. So when you've got a gun, It's an offhand weapon. That's very interesting. So you can, in combat, you could be wielding a weapon. Oh, hello. Should have figured she had help. Didn't expect to see you still here. Funny, huh? They say smoking kills. But I step outside for a quick puff and miss a damn tsunami, can you believe it? Decades of work gone, in an instant. It's all just a damp ruin now. You promised us a way out. I'm holding you to that. Chuckles at us. You're wasting your time if you're trying to threaten me. My backers don't take loss as well. I'm dead already. Even if I run, I'll be looking over my shoulder the rest of my life. So will you, matter of fact. But hey, if you want to try to walk out of here, go ahead, give it a shot. The access tunnel was left unlocked. If you can reach it, it'll take you outside the perimeter. But you won't make it far. The dead got in. I'll take my chances. You do that. Before you go, want to hear a joke? Sure. A man crosses the border every day riding his bicycle with bags of sand on the back. The guard gets suspicious. Searches him every time, finds nothing but sand. Then this goes on for years. One day the guard finally snaps. Says, I know you're smuggling something, what is it? The man just grins, says, bicycles. That's a good one. Sometimes the most important details are right in front of you, but you're too damn busy to see them. Something I learned too damn late. Oh, that was... skip that, right. Well, goodbye, Corbin. We're not leaving him here. We don't want his allies that we left back at that place, the treatment plant coming and rallying with him and clearing out the dead ones we've gone through and hunting us down outside. I mean, it's always a thing, and you know, you watch something like The Walking Dead and they don't kill the bad guy, and then the bad guy comes and kicks him in the arse in the next season. It's like, yeah, you probably should have killed the bad guy last season. We're not making that mistake. We've lost too many people. Daphne is getting out of here. Right. So I'm guessing the dead are in here. Well, so far, no dead. Oh, there's one behind me. Literally directly, yeah. Over there. Oh. And they're looking this way. Maybe I should have brought bottles to like distract them with. We aren't killing him quietly, are we? Is he going to turn around? Nope. But you can hear the music starting to ramp up, being like, oh, he's noticing you. Oh! Damn it! So what was that about? Were you meant to turn and start patrolling, or were you glitched out, or what? Ow! Well, I got the gun out, but aiming it... I was fully expecting to just flick it to the right and press the fire button, and it's like, no. It did not do that. Okay, next time, just shoot. Just fucking shoot. That was not as loud as I was expecting. You know what I should have done? ages ago. I should have just fired the gun. As soon as I got it, I should have taken it on a mission, just fired it into the air to gauge how loud it was. My assumption was it was stupidly loud and it was only to be used as a last resort. Like, even then I was reluctant to use it because I'm thinking every single one of them will immediately rush and kill me. But no, it was not that loud. It says I can continue. Can I like continue where we left off? Where we left off then? Does it? Yeah, it does. Okay, we can apparently just retry. Okay, so, screw it then. I'll retry it. We can try to get out with Daphne as much as we like. Apparently. Take those, definitely take the clubs. This blade, take that in case we need to break into that access tunnel or anything. I mean, it says it's unlocked, but will it be? Dunno. Try again. Just try again. That's all you can do. Right, we'll go over, we'll talk to what's his face. Wait, where is he? I was thinking for a minute, talk to what's his face. What was his name? And I'm like, what, Corbyn? I want to say Corbyn, and I was thinking, no, that's an old politician. You know, used to be Labour Prime Minister and that. And it's like, no, it wasn't him, right? It's like, no, it was. He's got the same name. Right, down we go. Attempt number 2. Right. Daphne is going to get out of here. Come what may. Right, stealth mode. Go down. And we will quietly... Right, so that alerts him. And then he kind of like weirds out. And they do come back here. So they are alerted, and they are alerted to us. I think. Maybe if we walk away, they'll become unalert. Like they'll de-aggro and possibly leave us alone. I don't think we can actually get through the animation of getting down there and killing them quickly enough for them to like do a patrol or what have you. Okay, they've definitely de-aggroed him. No, don't climb down. I said go to the left, you idiot. Oh, the controls are... They're a little bit screwed, basically. It's very easy to fumble them, I find. So I've gone back into a aggravated state. We might be sat here for a moment while it de-aggroes. Okay. Now they're going to walk back. Eventually. I think. All because this one was just facing the wrong way. They definitely did that deliberately to annoy you. Well, I'm not sure how long they're going to take, but when they come around, we'll let them come over here, we'll climb down, stab them in the back, they'll be dead. Then we swap to one of the bats or something that's got more durability, so if we end up in a big fight here, we can kind of kill a few of them. We might just need to use our gun to get through here. I don't think they're coming back. Right, are they just stood back here again? No. But it's not exactly quiet around here either. Where the hell did they go? What the crap? What? Okay, that's glitched. I can't stab him, I can't. I get the feeling that they didn't intend you to be able to go through here stealthily, or that you'd just back up and try to de-aggro them on the ladder. Okay. Will he de-aggro? Is that possible to do as well? Because again, I don't want to attract all these ones in the background here. I'm going to climb up here, I'm going to wait a second, and maybe he'll disappear as well. Well, not disappear, but you know, just de-aggro and go into either patrol state or something. Because I can't have them just sitting about here. You know, just waiting, staring at me, and I've got no option but to basically open fire on them in a crowded room and attract every single zombie. Right, if he is going to de-aggro, that should have been enough time to... I've got the bat equipped in case... Well, yeah, if I need to fight several off in close quarters. Okay, he sees me. He's aggroed. It's still a silent weapon, so... Oh god, I hadn't even killed him. Ow, you shite. That's the problem. Ah, crap, here we go. Now we're coming further back. Are they still coming this way, or have they turned finally? Nope, they're still coming this way. When they turn around, we'll get them. This is probably why it took them this is probably why we saw them come down here and turn, and then we never saw them again. Because they've probably gone so far up that way that basically, yeah, they couldn't do it quick. Like, the patrol is basically enormous. If it were just something like these pillars that I could just hide behind quickly while they, say, came and passed us. And then I could just... No, why are you... I clearly pressed to the left and it went back on the ladder. I've had it happen a few times. I think when I'm like trying to go back and forth into like the background and the foreground areas, when you're usually going upstairs or when you're going up like ladders or trying to climb things, I think it's very trigger happy on like if... So for example, if I get to the top of this ladder and move to the left to just move away from it. But even if I just slightly nudge the stick down while also pushing firmly to the left, if it's just left and down by like a degree or two, it seems to make you go back down the ladder. Seems to be a bit of a hair trigger, that. Just something I've noticed. I'd almost prefer just a button to get on and off the ladder. I just the jump, like have a jump, or just reuse the vault button or something. Right, we'll have to be more careful at this point. We can't really get into just a straight up fight. Because yeah, we... Lovely. And bang, bang. Oh, for God's sake. Okay, I'll be honest. I am very glad that we can just reload this. I think that this ending part here is kind of confirming my thoughts. And I'll go through those when we've actually beaten this part. They're kind of confirming my thoughts and feelings on the game as a whole. Which is that the combat is actually piss poor and it's using the actual rest of the game as a bit of a crutch. It's like, yeah. Like, the other systems are top notch, but the combat is atrociously bad. It's a bit too simple and too clumsy, is how I would describe it. The thing is then, is it wasn't even that, oh, maybe if we distract him or use one of the bottles that we could have potentially taken with us. I mean, just to kind of prove a point, because I know someone will say it in the comments, let's just... We'll take 5 bottles and we're going to use them as potential distractions. To try and get them to turn around. Mind you, no, I can't do that, can I? No, I would... If I were to do that... Yeah, what would happen is... I would throw the bottle, it would distract the one that I'm trying to distract, but it would alert all the ones behind them. There's literally no point. Is there? So we can't go using bottles and things to distract them here. There's no distracting them. We have to just go through with it, and we're probably going to have to just shoot them. I think that's probably it. We're probably just going to have to shoot them all. Right. Well, if this doesn't work this time, we'll get another go where we just craft a bunch of bullets. Yeah, we could do something where we just craft a bunch of bullets and just bring like 2 or 3 stacks of ammo, stand at this side and just shoot. Right. Run. No, why are you going back down? Go up, Daphne. I was saying this before, it's like you pressed left, like that, but I think I've got a tendency to do this. When I press left on a controller, I actually usually press either left and up, or left and a little bit down, depending like whether I'm moving up or down last, and it seems to be, yeah, like like it depends like what angle you're holding the controller at the time and things, but I think basically I'm catching left and slightly like we're talking like 5 degrees down sort of thing, and yeah, it's just causing it to do that. Got him. He's glitched, get him. Get him, Daphne. Go. Go, 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 go. Right, there's one behind me there. They will charge me. And this guy's glitched as well, remember. It's like if they're glitched, it seems reloading it, just they don't unglitch. It's like they're glitched there permanently. Let's swap to a new bat that's got more durability just in case we need it. Kind of like center torso. We'll move back. Got him, straight in the head. He'll be damaged now. So, he'll, after we've hit him, because it'll make him change animations, it'll kind of unstick him. And he'll now start actually reacting to us. Jesus Christ. So he is literally just a damage check. No, that's not something I can press there. What else have we got here? Nothing much. You just see all these like doors and all the blood and things and what looks like a butcher's table back there, and you're like, ah. Right, that's the area out. So you can't go in there. But I think we kind of know what they were doing there. The network completed. We left what's left of the shelter. Inhabitants emerge from the flood tunnel opening. Standing for a moment to adjust to the light, before them stretches a vast countryside of cracked earth and untamed grass. Behind the beltway, wall cuts across the land like a spine of concrete, and beyond that, trembling in the heat, the buildings of Walton City loom. Okay, and music were a bit loud there, but whatever. And we get the good ending. There we go. Took a few attempts, but yeah. So far, so great. There will likely be more of this on the channel. I'm probably going to come back with maybe not each update, but probably every like major update maybe expect to, since they're not too long, you know, it's like a couple hours and you've kind of beaten a run, and you know, just to kind of see what's new. It wouldn't take a load, but yeah, I expect to see it probably returning to the channel here and there as it goes through early access. They're promising to have more in-depth systems with things like factions. You're going to have like relationships between your survivors. I'm assuming that will probably start affecting the grief maybe, because it doesn't really make sense for someone who's, you know, oh, we've just met them and they've not come back and they're dead the next day. It's like, well, that's depressing, but it's not as bad as if, you know, like I'm imagining at the beginning Daphne and Penny, who are supposedly, oh, they've been together since the start of the outbreak and they've been surviving together and relying on each other, and you know, I think Penny was Daphne's patient and things, so she's like her therapist or something, so they're friends. It's like, okay, that would definitely affect her more, and you would think that that would give her masses of grief that would last ages and take a long time to clear, as opposed to what's it, Barb, who came and then died like 2 phases later. You know, as opposed to them. That said, it's like, yeah, so it's, I'm guessing that's gonna have something to play. There's gonna be, they're adding, apparently they're gonna add dogs. There's gonna be an infection system, so if you get hit too much, you'll get infected. I think the next update is going to add, when your survivors get killed and you go back to their bodies, there'll be a zombie version of them in their place, which is quite interesting. You have to kill them to get your stuff back. I like the idea. I think that's very much a good idea. My only issue so far with the game, like, I would say the one big thing that I would say holds this back is the combat. And I think that I was definitely a bit hesitant to say, oh, the combat is just awful. I don't think it's awful, but it is, like, it barely does the job. It just barely. Honestly, it kind of doesn't. It doesn't help that certain zombies do just glitch out sometimes, and they'll either stand there and then suddenly start attacking and just, or when enemies like attack and it goes through your attacks and things like that. It's, yeah. It's, yeah, quite frankly, the combat is just not good enough. It just is not good enough right now. Simply put, like, again, the final section there really kind of, I think, you know, highlighted, underscored, exclamation mark at the end, just really pointed out how bad it was to me then, that final segment. So, yeah, it's, to start with, it is difficult to swap weapons during a fight. You can hit them with a knife, kill the first guy, but then the second zombie who's heard you runs over, and you haven't got time because you have to go into a menu to swap to a knife and you can just fumble it. And while you're doing this, the zombie is just chewing on you. It is ridiculous that that's allowed to happen. You know, it's like, okay, there should be, at the very least, you should be able to maybe hotkey a couple of weapons. Like, maybe you don't make it absolutely ridiculous. Maybe to sort of ground it in reality, you could say, oh, your survivor has got, you know, a secondary weapon holster or something like that, and you can press the weapon swap button and swap to it. Or better still would be you can just press a weapon wheel button and swap between a few weapons that are in your inventory, or ones that are that you've like favorited or marked up as putting on this wheel or whatever. But yeah, I think time should slow down briefly while you just swap to the weapon you want. It doesn't have to completely stop, but you kind of have to meet the game, you know, you have to meet your gamer halfway, you know. You and the gamer playing it, your user, you have to meet halfway. It's like, look, I get that it's unrealistic that, you know, you stab someone with a knife and then instantaneously your baseball bat with nails teleports into your hands and you start swinging again. It is a bit silly, but it also breaks up the combat and kind of pulls you out of the game when you have to navigate a menu in the middle of an action sequence. So keeping that realism as like, oh, it takes a moment for your survivor to actually swap weapons, whilst also not pulling you out and putting you in menus and stuff. Again, just a slow-mo weapon wheel thing would absolutely hit the spot here. I guess on keyboard and mouse you'd just press a button and quickly scroll on the mouse wheel, or you'd use like the number hotkeys or something like that. Nice and simple. And that would almost immediately solve a lot of the problems with combat. The other problem is you can just be attacking a zombie, and it really can, and that final zombie we killed there, that really big one, kind of just highlighted this for me. Like, the combat really is just a damage, like, it's just a DPS check. You swing, they swing, there isn't like a, oh, I can dodge out of the way or block their attack or anything, which is fair enough, that would make the game a lot easier. But without those tools, it is just a DPS check. Like, every fight is a DPS check. I bet once you've played it a bit, you'll be able to go, right, fighting a zombie will typically cause me to lose X amount of health because they start attacking through your attacks and stop getting stunned after every like 2 hits or so. So you'll hit them twice, they'll hit you once, and you kind of get into that sort of rhythm. You can sort of mostly prevent one zombie from hitting you much. I think like certain weapons swing pretty quickly and can almost stun lock them. I'm thinking like the wrench and I think like the axe is not bad at this, and the truncheon. But like the makeshift bats and big hammers, like the slow weapons, it really is like you will hit them maybe twice and they'll hit you once, just like through your attack. And you get to these kind of problems, like I said, where it just becomes a DPS check. It really does. I'd like as well, kind of in the same area, like I'm finding myself trying to use up like bits of weapons that are about to break, so I'm trying to be like super efficient with it, but it means having to take that in your inventory, it wastes a spot. And also it makes again even more of a problem when you have to swap weapons, because you go up, sneak behind a guy, hit him all over the head with it, oh no, I've alerted someone else, having to quickly swap weapons, and there's this whole faff. It would be nice to just be able to go, oh, I don't have to try to desperately use this you know, nearly broken fire axe. What would be nice would be I can take it to my repair station at the base and use that there. Maybe just have the weapon station allow you to create like weapon repair kits that fully restore durability to a weapon or something. That could be quite expensive. Or maybe it would be something like, you know, you can have a small, medium and large repair kit, one repairing, I don't know, let's say like the whole bar of durability, if you had like maximum durability on a weapon is 100, maybe it would be like 25, 50 and 100 points of damage to a weapon that they'll repair. So you can wear them all the way down, and then just before they break, just stow them away and be like, right, I'm taking this to gonna get it repaired at the base. Just something like that. It'd be so much nicer, and I would definitely like some kind of small heal. I mean, I don't think that the bandages and medicine do anything other than cure like flesh wounds and sickness. I think it's literally, if you want to heal, you need a first aid kit. It heals you for 2/3 health. It is a massive waste to use that. when you're only missing like a quarter of your health bar. But you wouldn't want to go on a run without that quarter of the health bar, given how quick you can lose it and how many fights are, again, just straight up DPS checks. So I think that's where I stand with all this. And yeah, it is just a bit of a problem. And again, I think that's where its weaknesses are. A lot of it is around combat, and then just little things with like the first aid stuff and the weapon repair in there. I think that's literally all the issues. Of course, I don't want to just be saying nothing but bad things. Those are things that I would probably focus on and fix and that. Of course, its strengths, obviously, its theming, its narrative and that. I assume when like relationships and factions become a thing here, it seems like it might be able to do what games like Project Zomboid and State of Decay couldn't really and attempted at, which is to have a really like good narrative driven but somewhat dynamic zombie survival game, where it's like you're just trying to get out of a city and who you're gonna back and who you're gonna try to side with, and are they gonna try to screw you, or what's happening, and all this stuff. It's kind of nice to just be on the side of like, it's like, yeah, it seems to like you've got all that going for it, so it's nice to have a zombie game that's doing all that, and it's like, yeah, and it's solid. It's just pretty damn solid. And again, the visuals of it, again, the theme, the base management stuff, and having to keep everyone happy, manage all your resources, pretty much all spot on. Again, adding like character relationships and infection and stuff. I will say one thing: when they do add infection, I think it's really, really going to highlight the problems with the combat system way more, because you can't really avoid taking hits, especially if there's multiple enemies. It's very difficult to do, unless you just have like a weapon that swings fast enough to keep stunning them forever. It's going. I think it's basically going to really highlight the weaknesses in the combat system. And I think that before they go about adding infection into the game, they really need to consider revising the combat system. It doesn't need a big change. It just needs, again, it's like I need to be able to swap weapons quickly, and maybe not necessarily like, oh my god, there's we've really done up the combat system and completely changed things. It's like, personally, a really quick solution to it, if I were to try and find the fastest way they could probably do a fix to this, I would definitely say a small stamina bar, and swinging would lower it, but you would also have like a little back step that you would be able to do. So if you pushed a button, you would just back step. I would also allow you to like shoulder check zombies, like just smash through them if you had a bit of a run up. Basically barge them to the floor and almost like no clip through them. They'd just play like a animation as if they were thrown back as you go through them. But you have to be like running at speed, and obviously running would now take up a bit of stamina. So not loads, you'll be able to easily outrun them all, but then running through them would maybe do a little bit of damage to you, but also take a bit more stamina from you as well per zombie you hit. So if you tried to run through, say, 3 or 4, like each one would take almost like an attack worth of stamina off you, as if you'd swung your weapon, so that you can't just be stopped. So that you can, if there's 3 or 4 zombies, they will just stop you, especially if you hit them while you're on low stamina. But all that requires is another bar under your health bar, and like a jumping back animation. And then for the zombies, just an animation where they fall over, which I think there's already in the game, because you can knock them down already. So that's how I would solve it myself. And just kind of a word from me, like post filming this, I'm just kind of editing this in after the fact. So got a bit of footage in the background of the tutorial. I realised playing through it a second time and watching some reviews online, because I've kind of waited until after playing through the game to like look at other people's opinions and stuff on it. I typically do this because I don't really like people spoiling things for me, especially if it's a game I've been anticipating a lot. But yeah, on second playthrough I found out, yes, the system that I just described is literally in the game. It's the little orange bar and your health bar that I probably ignored because it's so tiny all this time. I think I assumed that were for like running or something, for like sprinting. But yeah, it's the reason it's there and the reason it's split into two segments is because you can dodge backwards, do a little quick step back twice, and literally that system I've described is basically in the game. I have been doing a second playthrough since, and armed with this new knowledge, I have been trying it out, and I've just got some footage in the background of the tutorial just to prove a point here. It never mentions this in the tutorial. It never even mentions the existence of this feature, and it's kind of mapped to a weird button. If you're not played yourself, it's on the left trigger button on the controller. So just a random button out there, So you wouldn't necessarily even notice. Like I did not notice this until my second playthrough after I'd watched someone do it in a review that I was watching of the game. But yeah, straight up, there's a dodge button. It kind of works, so it's made the combat a lot better for me. I don't think it's as bad as I was making it out to be, but definitely it hasn't really helped as much as I thought it would. I thought, oh wow, now that I've got this dodge button, combat's going to be a breeze. The zombies actually attack very quickly, and usually by the time you've noticed their animation and they've swung at you, you've probably already missed the opportunity to dodge. It's more like you almost have to dodge in anticipation of them attacking, not just reacting to their animations change. So it is there, but it's not as effective as you would think. I think my complaint about it still being a bit of a DPS check with the combat still stands to a certain extent, just because again the dodge isn't particularly reliable. Anyway, as I say, I would say it's highly likely we'll see more of this on the channel. There's even a chance we might see some No More Room in Hell 2 on the channel, because I know that by the time this is up, that should have had it'll have had an update probably a week prior or so. Apparently there's going to be 2 new maps. I'm looking forward to it, so there'll be more zombie stuff on the channel again. This one, it probably gets some updates. I'm guessing by the time that this is out, it will already be closing in on May. I'm trying to think how many I've filmed now. I think I've got like 2 weeks worth in the can. So I've basically just played it all the weekend. But I'm thinking at that point we'll probably be getting toward the May update for this. So it might come back for that update where it should be adding again like infected survivors and things. I might wait till the next big update, we'll see. Apparently again in early access, factions, relationships between survivors, more ways to escape, more survivors to unlock, more scenarios. Again, there's a scenario mode there that's just grayed out. That's going to be a thing. New map areas, so the map's going to be expanded more and things like that. Apparently there's going to be like environmental effects and weather and stuff added, so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on. For now though, thank you very much for watching. This has been Into the Dead, Our Darkest Days, and I will see you next time. Well, probably next time if we do more on this, where there'll probably have been an update, and we'll probably try to do a different escape route, just to try and mix things up. Right, I'll see you then.